a Spurs supporter all my life, believe it or not. And I play a bit of part-time football, and unfortunately I play with people that don't speak English called Arsenal supporters. In this modern day at the moment, there seems to be an argument between who's the best between Ronaldo and Messi. And without being biased, Mr. Ardiles, which I'm privileged to be in the room with, can you give me an answer on that?
Yep. Mickey will answer first.
Messi, no shadow of a doubt. He is just pure genius. And in actual fact, one day Ossie was on the show when Messi was playing brilliant. And I spoke to him the next day and I said, Ossie, Messi's got to be the best player in the world. Biggest compliment I ever had. He says, and Mickey Hazzard with pace. Because he used to think I was slow. But biggest compliment I ever got, but Messi for me is just pure genius. He's capable of unlocking any door, scores goals for fun, pure genius. Pure genius.
I don't remember saying that, but Cristiano Ronaldo is a wonderful player. He's a player of the year in FIFA and so on, and he's a very modern kind of player. Very efficient. He scored a lot of goals. I mean, any manager would love to have him in his squad. Now, when you're talking about Messi is from another planet. It's more or less the same argument that we have when Maradona was playing with us. Not talking about him as a manager, but as a player. Maradona was in a complete league. Yes, you were talking about a lot of different players. They were huge. I mean, in England, for example, Glenn Hoddle, and in all over the world, Platini, or whoever you want to, whoever, Zico, Socrates, or whoever you want to name. But Maradona was, he was from another planet. And that is the difference between Messi and not only Ronaldo, but anybody else in the world right now.
Okay, last question.
How much did Keith Birkinshaw influence your football on the field?
Question is, how much did Keith Birkinshaw influence Ossie's and Mickey's football?
None.
Next question.
Listen, there's many things to being a great manager, and if the thing that made Keith great was he signed great players, and he inherited great players with great football brains. And often, if I was to say what advice Keith ever gave me as a player, I would say, well, none. I would turn to Ossie or Stevie P, and I would go and speak to them, and they would then help and guide me. That's why I failed to make what I should have. I went to the wrong people. But but in effect, he was surrounded by great players like all Ardiles, Perryman, people who not just were great players, but had very strong minds and very strong views and great opinions on the game. And often it was their influence that would dictate the way that we played. So if I had to say what was Keith's biggest strength, I would say it was his ability to allow people like Ossie the freedom to influence the way that we played. But as regards his influence over me, in my football education, I would say it was minimal.
I will translate what he's trying to say, in fact, because he's from Jordiland, so somehow maybe someone who, well, not Jordi. He's not a Jordi, he's a Macam, so that is even, it's even worse. But what Mickey's trying to say, and I will say it as well. Keith never ever said to me, for example, Ossie, go more to the right, go more to the left, or you have to do this, you have to do that. Never. After saying that, he gave me the freedom to express myself, and I have to say that with Mickey and people like Glenn Hoddle as well, it was exactly the same. You don't say to Glenn, go more to the right, or when you're in that position, try to score, or don't pass the ball too much, or pass the ball a little bit more. When you're talking to God, you cannot say a lot of things as well. You just tell him to just go and play. That was the case with Glenn. But in the other hand, he was such a good manager. He allowed the team to perform. He knew the strength of the team, and he knew they have two or three very strong characters that knew what they were doing in the pitch. So his big strength was to allow them to express themselves, and this is, I mean, you see a lot of managers right now, and before, sometimes in the Arsenal era, for example, that they were very, they knew exactly how the team was going to play. It doesn't matter if you have a very talented player or they can play in a different way. No, they wanted to play in one way, and this is it. That was the way they were going to play. Wiki was not like that. He was very open, and in fact, that was a bit of a surprise because at the end of the day, he came from Georgia. So, but it was a very unlikely scenario as well. It was a very unlikely scenario as well that he, of all the people, came to Argentina to sign Rick and me. It's funny because sometimes we are in a meal like this, in a dinner like this, and he said to me, "You know what is the problem with football right now?" I said, "Well, no, you tell me. Too many foreign players." You started it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Can I? It's not a question actually. It's just something I think. I'm not a Tottenham supporter. My father was, but it's really nice to be here. I'm sure everyone endorses it. They're two really natural people that communicate on everyone's level. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
it's his brother. And there's one very humble man here, and then there's Mickey here as well. But Mickey's he's actually quite good mates with Chaz and Dave, so he's got to go and try and get them back together because apparently they split up.
No, Dave's retired.
Dave's retired, yeah, so he's going to get him out of retirement for a little reunion. Ossie's got some film deals to work on, but you will get a chance to see them shortly. Thank you both so much. I think I speak for everyone in saying that it's really